Oh, I really hit peak single. I don't even have a list anymore. I don't have a roster.
So has anyone told men that they don't have to tell us they want to see us again if they don't want to see us again, or are they just out there improvising?
This is just a PSA for men that telling a woman, oh, you're so much funnier than I expected you to be, or you're a lot smarter than I thought you would be, is not the compliment that you think it is. Because now we're wondering why you asked us on a date if you thought that we were stupid and bland. Why are you so surprised?
A man that wants you to text him first is a man that's in his feminine energy. He's princess. He wants you to chase him. I'm so sorry. We don't do that. He needs to go to the doctor and find his balls. That's what he has to do. He has to get it together and regroup. We don't do that.
You know what's embarrassing? Begging him to act right when there are other men in your life begging for a chance.
Today I realized that I don't need no man. I want a man. I do. But I don't need him.
I want him.
Nothing pisses me off more than when a man that looks like the shit on the bottom of my shoe is like, hey, can I take you out? Now, I'm not going to say I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread, but I know I ain't ugly. Where the fuck did you get that idea that I would actually go out with you?
There's no greater love language than a man coming to pick you up from the airport. And every time I land, it's a subtle reminder that I don't have one. And I have to call an Uber. This sucks.
Hey, y'all women, speak for yourselves when y'all say y'all don't need. Because, baby, I need a man. I don't want to be independent. I don't want to do everything on my own. Sup, Papa?
Yeah, I would hate to be a man because what do you mean I just bought you and your friends drinks and you now just ran away saying you had to go to the bathroom? I never saw you again that night. Texted you, you never responded. I would be sick.
You guys know what ticks me the fuck off is when I see a like fine ass guy at the mall, at the gym, and then I realize he has kids because like his tattoos. Like I saw like a fine ass guy right now leaving the gym or leaving the locker room, I mean. And then I saw his arms. I walked behind him because he was like, we were going the same direction. And then he had like 2 baby feet tattooed on him. I'm like, all right, well, you're not a candidate because most likely he has kids. But I hate being a single woman and then seeing fine ass men and then they end up having like 1 or 2 kids.
Who told all the men that it was okay to be so bulky and nonchalant?
Baby, if I already ha-ha'd your story like 47 times and I'm hearting all your little pictures and breaking my finger, like, are you picking up what I'm putting down? Because I feel desperate now.
Feminists are such fake activists. Like, I can't believe we're in 2025 and y'all are still talking about fighting for the right to work. Bitch, you can literally clock in, quit, go get another job. Like, what are y'all talking about? Go enjoy that. Go clock the fuck in. All this fake activism and shit, like, you guys actually think posting on social media is doing something to push the culture forward.
So I made a TikTok a few days ago talking about how in the dating scene, men don't really initiate anymore. And then for some reason, the algorithm hit like the lonely male demographic. And I'm getting flooded with messages in my inbox about like wanting to date me. And that's not what I meant. I meant it for the girls so that we can talk about it. So please stop. Thank you so much.
There's a nigga right now texting my phone, talking about something, tell what you call and text me like, you look like a whole ass nigga not texting the bitch you want to talk to. Like, I'm trying to figure out when the fuck did it become gay to text a bitch or talk to a bitch that you like. When the fuck did it become gay? If a bitch like you like her, and y'all at odds right now, text that bitch. Like, I don't get why you niggas act like it's not gay to fucking keep calling your homeboys, checking on your homeboys, but you can't check on your bitch.
So here's 3 really good reasons on why a woman should never leave her man. Number 1, it would be doing him a favor, and we don't do favors. Number 2, without us, they would have money, and we need to keep them motivated. And number 3, his life would be peaceful and calm, and we keep them on their toes and teach them patience.
I'm so glad that I'm not brainwashed into being a feminist and that men are terrible and I'm oppressed all the time and people are trying to take away my rights.
I got 3 motherfuckers texting me good morning, and I don't want to talk to nobody. Good morning, beautiful.
But my problem is every guy I meet, I'm like, you don't want to do enough with your life.
No, because you really,
Compared to
really
you.
don't know what they want to do.
Yeah, some people, they're not that advanced into the phase of their life that they're in. They don't.
Men will be like, I'm not paying the bills. I'm not your daddy. You're not a child. And then in the very next breath, be like, where's my dinner? Where are my clean clothes? Where do we keep anything in this house?
Men are so easily triggered. All you have to say is that a man should be a provider, and then they will immediately just start coming for your throat.
I just heard someone say, women don't choose bad men. Men hide who they are until they're comfortable.
Some of you hold your fork and knife like you're ready to fight. You're ready to throw down at any given moment. I don't want to be sitting across from a man having a nice meal and he's making little Arthur fists while he's cutting his steak. At ease, soldier. No one's coming to fight you. We're at the Cheesecake Factory in the suburbs. Put your Arthur fists away.
Does anyone else spend hours scrolling on the dating apps and finding men that you actually find attractive and you would love to meet up with and get to know better, but then as soon as they ask you to actually meet up, you freeze because that sounds like a chore?
I see a lot of good men struggle with relationships and finding good women. Usually it's because they gave up on dating because people took them for granted and now they don't believe it's possible. But I'm here to tell you that it is absolutely possible. You just have to change your mindset about it. I can help you with that.
If you want to lose interest in a man, you need to take him on a coffee date. Get that man caffeinated and then sit there, drop some red pill bait on the table and shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Get very good at pattern recognition, aggressive, active listening, aka possibly motivational interviewing, and baiting. And for the men that will be in my comments of like, this is so blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry, you guys get us drunk so you can have sex with us. All we're doing is getting you caffeinated so we can gather information. Not going to use your body, not going to do anything harmful to you. We're just allowing you to be who you already were. And we are just seeing through your bullshit. And we now have tactics like catching print and getting you caffeinated so that we know what podcast you're listening to. We know what you believe in, which then allows us, number one, to know that there's not going to be any foreplay and I'm not going to orgasm. It's going to be a waste of my time and a waste of breaking my celibacy, okay? And then also, most likely going to lead in me losing aura points and feeling mansplained and just like overall, not a good time. So girls, I know that sometimes girls are like, coffee dates are like really low effort. I deserve more. You do deserve more. You're allowed to want that. But I promise you the coffee is going to get his cards on the table and you need to see that.
Let me tell y'all something. Once you start feeling sorry for a man, you've already lost the war. You've already lost. Because amongst all the things I've learned about men in my life, one of the biggest things men have taught me is they don't give a fuck about the things that they do to you and how that affects your life and how that affects your mental health. They don't care. So I have that same energy for men. The same way y'all don't care about what happens to women, I don't give a fuck about what happens to you. And I'm telling you, when more women start thinking that way, life gonna run a lot easier for you. Because men have no remorse for the things that they do to women. They will literally destroy your life and walk out as if you didn't even exist. And then move on to the next woman and do the same shit. So when I hear bad things happening to a man, I gives not a single fuck. It's funny to me. I laugh. Yeah. So stop feeling sorry for men. They don't deserve your pity. Because they're never sorry about the fucking things they do to you.
And you know why men never really have anything to say when you speak on how you've been assaulted or harassed or raped by a man? It's because they would have done the same exact thing had they been given the opportunity. Men don't hold other men accountable for the weird shit they put women through because they're just as weird as the next nigga. It doesn't matter if it's your dad. It doesn't matter if it's your brother, your uncle, your best friend. They're all the fucking same. They're all weird. They're all sad. They're all creeps. They're all lustful losers. And even the percentage that doesn't quite relate to that still won't hold men accountable. That's why it's so useless trying to get empathy or sympathy from a man when it comes to assault or rape or harassment, because they don't care. They will literally do the same thing to you. They do not give a fuck.
Men don't compromise shit in a 50-50 relationship. The statistics are already there. Women's household domestic labor goes up and men goes down. And on top of that, single women now officially own more property than single men. The only thing they think they're compromising on is their freedom. And if that is so valuable, why settle for a relationship? For the benefits, duh. And a lot of times they're not even compromising on their freedom. They still act like they're single even when they're dating someone. That's why I think these types of relationship arrangements attract guys who dehumanize women. They see you as a service provider so they can reap all the benefits while you pay the price. Why is compromise pushed so heavily onto women? And anyone who tries to call me a bitter man hater is genuinely coping in the biggest way, because all I'm doing is just spitting out regular experiences that women have every single day. Just that when you finally verbalize it, it sounds bad, but that's not women's fault. That's the men's actions. I only get women who push back on me because that would mean they would have to wake up and face the reality that they would have to either A, break up with their current boyfriend, or B, wait longer for a man who truly values and cherishes you. But especially for girls my age in their 20s and 30s, it's like there's this big rush to find this guy that I've got to settle down with and create a life with. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be partnered and have a family at all. Wait for a guy who truly sees you as a human being. I promise you, once you find that guy, in which you will, he will not be asking you to split all the finances down the middle with him. I promise you. As a woman, you are without a doubt the most vulnerable party in a relationship. And make sure you pick a man who makes your life as easy as possible, because you are entirely entitled to want that for yourself. And any man who pushes up against that is not your man.
You know, I would say the majority of people who sit behind fake accounts or troll accounts and hate on people who have chosen a different lifestyle to them is predominantly men. You can't convince me otherwise, because that's been my experience. And when I see women posting online, pretty much like in any genre of like content, I look at the comments and I always only see, pretty much I'd say 98% of people hating are men. And that's why you can't fucking convince me that these people aren't so desperately sad and lonely. There is a male loser epidemic. I know that for sure. Because why aren't these people just simply enjoying their lives instead of literally making their whole personality hating on women? It's so fucking sad. And that's when you know you as a woman are winning, because you're getting these guys all fucking crazy. Crazy and angry enough that they have to sit online all day leaving hate comments. Like, male loser loneliness epidemic is out of fucking control. Like, y'all need some fucking good hobbies. I'll fucking go and touch grass or some shit. I don't know. I don't even think therapy could save these guys.
I feel like women are choosing to stay single because of the fact that we know that men don't like us. Not all men, of course. And it's not just weaponizing confidence and single married mom. Women know that you guys don't really like us. You see often women talking about how men don't remember their birthdays or their holidays or don't know what they like. Some of them can't name their siblings or their partner's parent. But you're active in your local Dungeons & Dragons team, or you participate in the fantasy football draft and the whole entire season. You can spout off stats about Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or your favorite baseball team or rugby team. You know these people's hometowns and birth dates and shit. But you choose to not invest that time in your partner because honestly, you don't care enough. If you loved your partner, wouldn't you want to know like their favorite TV show, their favorite meal, what they like to read about? If you really care about your partner, if you have children, you should be able to take care of those children without texting or calling your partner every 5 minutes if they've left the house. But often, and we see this often, women don't have that in their partners. And that's why so many women are choosing to stay single. Because women can find love and companionship in platonic relationships. And of course, it's not all men and all relationships. But if you listen, it's happening often. I know from experience, like, I would invest time in trying to know what my partner liked. Did I want to listen to Michael Kay in the morning and the sports shows? No. Did I really care about learning what's going on in a hockey game? Not really. Guess how much interest I had really in learning how to play Yu-Gi-Oh? But I did these things because I loved my partner and I wanted to do stuff that they enjoyed. I wanted to know why they loved it so much. I wanted to be able to spend time with them because I knew they loved doing that, but wouldn't do anything with me and my friends and the things I like. So for me to be able to spend time with them, I had to mold myself into someone who resembled them. But they never put that effort into me. A lot of women are feeling the same exact way and are ending relationships and they're staying single. But that's just my 2 cents.
But it literally is cheaper to live alone than go 50-50 with a man because 50-50 doesn't exist. You think half the expenses have been cut out, and that might be so in terms of rent, but everything else doubles. So if I'm an average working person renting a 1-bedroom apartment and living with a man who weighs double what I do, consumes double what I do, sweats triple what I do, adding not only time but also expenses to the washing, cooking, and cleaning. How is it not cheaper and easier for me to rent that same 1-bedroom apartment and have all that space to myself and use that time that I could have spent going 50-50 cleaning up after this man when I can be spending it on enriching my life in some way or even learning a second income? It literally costs more in every single way to be in that 50-50 relationship than it does to be on your own. And you might say, well, that's just the way the cookie crumbles, darling. If you want a husband, you're going to have to settle or compromise in some way. Well, then I ask you, why isn't he compromising? Because it seems like the only thing that he's getting right now is everything. I would literally rather die alone than come home to a man who's left his dirty shoes on the floor. And if men think their personalities are enough,
it always makes me laugh whenever guys are like, let me guess, what are you looking for? 6'2", millionaire, 6-pack, and never cheats on you? Like, why are you so triggered by it? I think men that have a problem with women having standards for guys are lazy men. Like, I get it. There is way, way more things beyond that. I mean, that's not even on my list of things that are important in finding a partner. But why wouldn't somebody want somebody that takes care of themselves? Somebody that is ambitious and successful. Like, why not? It doesn't mean that that's the most important thing. I think that finding somebody that has the desire and ability to grow is important. Like, I love the idea of finding somebody that's like already hustling and trying to make things happen, and then you guys accomplish it together. The men out there that have a problem with women having high standards are just lazy and don't want to put in the work. They just want to be overweight. So yeah, I also agree. If you're going to have high standards, then be those high standards too. If you want a man that's going to be successful, is going to be fit, is going to be loyal, is going to be this and that, you be a superstar too. You be that person that you want. But don't be a man making fun of women because they have high standards. Just because you're not going to fit those standards does not mean that you have to go and make fun of them for wanting a good partner.
And I feel like the reason why relationships just don't last is because the men aren't disciplined anymore. And I think we should start disciplining them ourselves. And those are no man tell you, I don't know what I'm talking about because I am the only person here who knows what they're talking about, okay? So like, if he say he don't want to eat your bottom, cuff him any truth. If he tell you he gonna hang with his friends and gives no details, I think you should cuff him in his truth. If he don't post you, cuff him in his truth. To be honest, if your man breathe a little hard, I feel like you should cuff him in the truth. If your man friendly, first of all, you shouldn't even be with no friendly man, eh? But if he is, beat the shit. If you feel like you had to fight up too much to get your point across, just cuff him in the truth. If he's asking if the nails really cost $700, cuff him in his truth. If you catch yourself explaining something that a grown man should know, cuff him in his truth. If you have a girl best friend, cuff him in the truth. Actually, cuff him twice in the truth and cuff the girl in the truth too. If you don't eat it off the bone, cuff him in his truth. If he don't compliment you, cuff him in the throat. If he drink water weird, cuff him in his throat. If he's aware that the only reason you're acting out is because you want attention and he actively choosing to withhold that attention just to spite you or teach you a lesson, not only should you cuff him in his throat, you should probably break up with him and find a new man. Yeah. And all they're gonna come for me and tell me I talking shit, but I looking out for all you. I want all the relationships to last. I want the love to be there and the love to be strong. And if a man ever come and tell you, hey, don't listen to what this girl's saying, them just don't want happiness. Them don't want to be happy. Them don't want that for themselves. They don't want to be joyous. They don't want to be in love. Okay? So don't listen to the men, ladies. Listen to me. I know the way. I know the truth. I know the light. Because a man who don't want licks is a man who don't want joy.